To begin today, we will welcome Superintendent Cam McKidd. He is the Superintendent of WPS Investigations. Sir?
Oh, this isn't going to fit here, Danny.
That's okay. Yep.
I have to hold it. Hey, good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank the members of the media for being here today and continuing to report on retail theft and violent crime and the associated issues in the city of Winnipeg. We really appreciate the media's continued engagement with these very important issues and helping us to get our message out to the larger community. So thank you for that. And obviously, welcome to we have a fairly robust panel of guest speakers here today, so very excited to hear from everyone here today. Our service has spoken fairly extensively in the past on retail theft and violent crime. So for that reason, I'm going to try not to be very repetitive here today, given the number of speakers we have. Be happy to sort of do some break-off interviews with anyone after, if that's something that the media would like. So having said that, just very briefly by way of background, as you may recall, on May 29th, 2024, the province of Manitoba announced some temporary funding to address the rise in retail theft, violent crime and associated issues. This was funding that was intended to fund police overtime for a 4-week period. So that's how we got here today. The funding was for a 4-week period, and it supported a 3-pronged approach that the police service implemented. And I'll just briefly describe the approach that we took. The first element of our strategy involved our community support officers, and they were providing a highly visible, proactive police presence 7 days a week in 3 defined retail zones, those being the Osborne Village, the Exchange District, and the West End. The second element I would describe more as an investigative prong of our approach. It involved members of our property crime unit working in conjunction with loss prevention officers, doing covert operations in the retail environment across the entire city. In addition, the property crimes unit targeted certain prolific chronic offenders that were property crime related with attention. A number of arrests were made in that respect as well. The third element of our approach involved members of our community relations unit working on various crime prevention initiatives in retail environments, again, across the entire city. As noted, this 4-week initiative was funded by the province in the form of overtime. And what that means is there is no impact to regular police operations due to the way that it was funded. In terms of data points, I can report the following results that were collected during the 4-week period. And the period that we're talking about is June 8th to July 5th, 2024. In terms of arrests, the total arrests for the initiative were 203. And just to break that down a little bit, 127 of those arrests were made by our community support officers that were providing that elevated level of presence in those 3 retail zones. And there were 76 arrests made by our property crimes unit in conjunction with the activities that I described. The vast majority of these arrests were for outstanding warrants and shoplifting or theft charges. Total storefront engagements is another metric we're looking at. There were 1,113 storefront engagements. And that's just what it sounds like. This is our community support officers and our community relations officers walking through business zones, talking to staff, talking to business owners, and engaging with those storefronts, exchanging information. That's what that looks like. Inspector Eric Luke will likely expand on these activities shortly. Individual engagements is another metric we were tracking. There were 484 of those engagements. So this is something between arrests and then contact with citizens. These are sort of disturbances or nuisance activities. It might be people causing a disturbance in a retail environment. It could be somebody refusing to leave a restaurant. It could be people sleeping in doorways or on sidewalks. So our members would engage with those individuals and take the appropriate action. So again, that's 484 individual engagements. Community relations crime prevention engagements, there were 610 of those. And what this would look like, our community relations members would attend to malls, high traffic retail locations. And they would set up safety booths. They would meet with retailers. They would do, I'll try to talk a little louder. Okay. Yeah, they would do retail engagement throughout these malls. They would work on store ergonomics, have consultations with businesses as to how they can make their stores more ergonomically suited for crime prevention. And they would also do coffee with a cop initiatives, which are very popular. We also issued 31 Provincial Offence Act tickets. The majority of those were for trespassing and liquor offenses. I'd be happy to break down the stats in a little more detail, but with the number of speakers here, maybe we'll loop back in the question and answer period, and I'd be happy to expand on those. I can just tell you from the police services perspective, we've been very encouraged with the results of this initiative, both in terms of the data collected and the feedback our members have been receiving in the community, and certainly in terms of the enhanced and elevated public awareness that's been put on these important issues with the help of the media. So thank you again for that. At this point, I'd like to welcome Minister Wiebe to the podium to say a few words.
Thanks very much, Cam. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful summer day here in downtown Winnipeg. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And I'm very pleased to be here this morning to announce another significant measure that we are taking to reduce crime and improve public safety in our downtown. In early June, we launched a partnership with Winnipeg Police Service to address acts of violence and brazen retail thefts that were occurring on what seemed like a daily basis. Let me be clear. Violence and theft are not acceptable to our government, and they're never acceptable to the citizens of Manitoba. While we will always offer a compassionate and heartfelt response to those who are struggling with mental health, with addictions, we cannot allow organized crime and chaos to operate unchecked in our communities. And so, in partnership with the Winnipeg Police Service, we resolved to take immediate action to restore safety and security to our community. With our funding for targeted police overtime, we can now report that we are making important progress. Since early June, officers have made over 200 arrests, engaged with hundreds of businesses, and recovered thousands of dollars in stolen merchandise. But as important as the data, to me, is also the feedback that we've been receiving from businesses and from community members throughout our city. We've heard from business owners, from frontline employees, from community leadership, that this initiative has made a real difference, helping them and their customers to feel safe again, helping to stem the violence and thefts that were all too common in our communities. And what has become abundantly clear is that we need to continue these efforts throughout the summer months. Today, we are announcing that our government will invest a total of $1.16 million to this initiative to keep the efforts going until the end of August. This investment includes funding for additional general patrol units to focus on areas of repeat crime, targeted retail theft, and engagement with business organizations and leaders to improve safety. Under our Premier's leadership, our government will always offer a path forward to those struggling with mental health and addictions, but we will not cede any ground on public safety. Theft and violence will not be tolerated. Today's announcement is one more step in our government's commitment to be tough on crime and tough on the causes of crime in our communities. Yesterday, we announced $1.5 million for a downtown community safety action plan, which will increase the visibility of foot patrols, enhance mental health training for our downtown partners, and establish a new sobering center for those vulnerable folks struggling with addiction. Both of these initiatives build on the feedback that we've been getting since taking office 9 months ago. And they're only possible because we're able to come together with our partners in the business community, in policing, in public safety, and with other levels of government to work together for the people of Manitoba. Before I wrap up and we hear from others here this morning, I'd just like to express my gratitude to the police officers and first responders who have worked tirelessly on this initiative and dedicate their lives to keeping us safe. On behalf of all Manitobans, we thank you for your dedication, your bravery, and your commitment. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech. Oh, and Mr. Mayor, please join us.
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
Thanks, Minister. Well, first of all, I was told to speak loudly, so I will. So if you have to adjust the volume in the mic later on, I apologize. But first of all, Mr. Minister, thank you so much for your commitment, for your government's commitment to safety in Winnipeg. We really, really appreciate it. I appreciate the initial investment you've made and certainly appreciate today's announcement to extend that investment. It is making a difference. Similar to yesterday's announcement about enhancing safety in the downtown, this initiative is a great example of our two levels of government working together to quickly respond to what we're hearing from stakeholders. A little bit later on, you're going to hear from some of our biz representatives. You're going to hear from Brian Sharfstein, a business owner in the Exchange, who will speak about the impact of this initiative that it's having within our city. Over the past several months, I have had conversations with the Retail Council, independent businesses, including Brian and I have met together. I've spoken to biz zones as well, and members of the police service, and to the minister also, about retail crime and its impact in our community. I know that the police service, even prior to this work and this initiative, has engaged in several initiatives to combat retail crime, and I appreciate the efforts that they have made. I really want to commend the police service for quickly putting together this particular initiative that is showing immediate results. And Superintendent McKidd, your data today, your stats showing over 200 arrests in less than in 1 month. That's a remarkable number, and it shows the impact that this initiative is having. And so I want to thank all of our police service members, Inspector Luke, certainly Deputy Chief Standard, the entire team here for all the work that they are doing. It's that agile response and collaboration across governments and stakeholders that really is crucial. Like most Winnipeggers, I've heard far too many stories about people walking out of stores and restaurants without paying. I'll never forget being in one of our stores with my wife a couple of years ago, standing as we were walking through the store, and just someone grabbed a whole armful of jackets and walked out. I think I can tell you, I was frustrated, very frustrated in that moment. I've also heard far too many stories about employees, often young people, getting their first work experience being threatened for just trying to do their jobs. We can't have that in our city. We can't allow that. Years ago, I got a text from my son who was working a part-time job to say, "Dad, I'm okay, everyone's okay, but we've just been victims of an armed robbery." As a parent, it gets you at the core, and you get in your vehicle and you rush to the store to make sure your son and your daughter's okay. Too many parents in our city have experienced that. We can't tolerate it. We can't stand for it. We appreciate the investment, the work of the police service, so that doesn't happen as frequently, hopefully not again. And I'm tired of hearing that this is a victimless crime. Retail theft is not a victimless crime. The small retail shop owner who has their merchandise stolen is a victim. The young employee who's assaulted or threatened and is scared is a victim. And when stores and restaurants decide or have to close their doors because of crime, then the whole community suffers and the whole community becomes victims. Businesses, and especially independent retailers and restaurants, bring character to the life of our neighborhoods, and they help make our neighborhoods destinations, not just places to pass through. They bring investment into our city. They also provide employment opportunities for tens of thousands of Winnipeggers. So it's important that these that these businesses, their employees, their customers feel safe and feel heard. And it's critical that we step up to protect our signature neighborhoods, like our downtown, the Exchange District, Osborne Village, and others. And by working together, we can ensure that we are addressing the social needs that people have. I think yesterday's announcement, juxtaposed against today's announcement, shows a great complement. Where yesterday we really did and are focusing on helping people that are struggling with mental illness and addictions, taking a compassionate approach. Yet at the same time, as the minister said, being tough on crime and making sure that we don't tolerate crime in our city. By working together, we can ensure that Winnipeg remains a vibrant and safe and thriving community. And the extension of this partnership between the City of Winnipeg, the Province of Manitoba, businesses, our police service, and others is an example of our shared commitment to public safety in our community and to the well-being of our residents throughout the city. And so once again, I want to thank all those involved, and especially thank the Province of Manitoba for their investment in safety in Winnipeg. Thank you. Who I turn it over to now? Inspector Luke.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Superintendent McKidd has spoken about the hard data and the quantifiable results of this project to date, and I'm here and thrilled to announce the overwhelmingly positive feedback I have received from the community and my members regarding this recent initiative. My name's Eric Luke, and I'm the Divisional Commander for our Downtown Division. In response to requests for an enhanced police presence and increased visibility, we introduced foot patrol officers into these three specific communities. The initiative not only aims to reduce crime and ensure a more immediate response to disorder, but further aims to foster stronger relationships between our officers, the residents, business owners, and customers of those businesses in these areas. From the feedback I have been receiving, both externally and internally, it appears we're achieving that goal. This initiative has meant a tremendous amount to our members. They've come to me and thanked me for the opportunity to get out of their cars and interact with members of the community and listen to them outside of an immediate crisis. It's hard to interact personally with someone when you may be meeting them on the worst days of their lives. By being present and approachable, they are not only enforcing the laws, but are also building these meaningful relationships within the community. The women and men working this project have developed a new feeling of connection with the community and consequently are better able to address these individual needs effectively. The officers are continually getting praise and thanks from the community, and I can't begin to say how appreciative they are and what it has done for morale in these divisions. It's important to everyone here to know that the WPS is committed to enhancing public safety and fostering strong community relationships. This initiative, funded by the province, has allowed the community to reconnect with the officers and the officers to reconnect with the community. I'd like to encourage all the residents, store owners, and community leaders to continue sharing their feedback and engaging with our foot patrol officers and community support officers to help shape the future of our community. That's all I have to say at this point. I'd like to take a moment to welcome David Pizzato, the Executive Director of the Exchange Biz, followed by Brian Sharfstein, the owner of Canadian Footwear in the Exchange. Thanks very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the Minister, to the Mayor, and to the members of the Winnipeg Police Service. My name is David Pizzato. I'm the Executive Director of the Exchange District Biz. And I want to I'll be very brief. The importance of this program to our community has been immeasurable. It's been highly effective. And, it is about, there's been a lot of talk about community, about relationship building. Often you hear about the importance of a visible presence. Where that's really effective is with beat officers walking around, because it's beyond just being a cruiser car driving by. That's visible, but that doesn't engage the community. A police officer, a pair of police officers walking down the street, checking in with businesses, meeting with residents, talking to visitors, that makes the difference. Those relationships are what matters. We have the Fringe Festival coming up this next week. The Exchange District is a primary visitation place for Winnipeggers and Manitobans and people from all over the world. And having these police officers on the street makes a huge difference to all of the visitors. It makes a huge difference to the office workers who are returning to the area. And of course, it makes a huge difference to business owners, like Brian Sharfstein, who you'll be hearing from. We've heard a lot from the business owners in the area since the police officers have been coming through and meeting with them. It provides confidence. Security is as much about a feeling of security and a sense of safety as it is about the sort of traditional things that people talk about. And there's no better way to get security than by building relationships with people on the street. So we're really happy to see this program continue, and we'd like to see it continue even further. So thank you very much, and thank you all for being here. Happy to answer any questions as well. And now, Mr. Brian Sharfstein.
Good morning. I have spent decades as a passionate Winnipegger in business in downtown Winnipeg. And I'd like to just start by saying the question of why downtown matters to us. Our downtown is important because it represents the heart and soul of our community. A healthy, vibrant downtown is an indicator of the economic and community condition of the city, which in turn contributes to its overall growth, economic potential, and perception. Perception is the reality. And the reality is that the perception about downtown Winnipeg is changing right now. We've been dealing with some shoplifting, but that's not the issue. The perception is about business interruption. Since the Winnipeg Police Service increased their presence downtown, we are absolutely seeing a reduction in incidents. These officers that we're seeing are bringing trust and confidence to the people working in the area and to the general public. I have heard from other business owners that they are also very pleased with what they're seeing and feeling about what's going on and owing to this initiative. The objective now is to make sure that this process is sustainable. We need to keep this going. Collaboration with business owners, people living in the area, it's all about collaboration. So we are encouraging businesses, people who are stakeholders, to come out and join force and support our service, support our city, and support our province. And thank you for being here today.
Hello, I'm Zorae Gervais from the Osborne Village Biz. On behalf of the Osborne Village Biz, I want to express our deep gratitude to the Minister of Justice, to the City of Winnipeg, and to the Winnipeg Police Service for the continuation of the VCRT initiative in Osborne. The visible presence of beat cops and the increased general patrols in Osborne has had a dramatic impact on the area. It's improved safety for everyone in the community, residents, visitors, and businesses. We truly hope that this program is the beginning of a return to more community-based crime prevention. Having the same two beat patrol officers in the neighborhood every day is helping to rebuild relationships and foster deeply overdue communication and collaboration between the community and the police. Community safety is a complex issue that requires a comprehensive approach with many different organizations working together towards a common goal, and it feels like we're starting to do that more and more, and that makes me so excited as a resident and as a representative of the biz. The VCRT initiative has laid the groundwork for a safer Osborne Village, and the continuation of this initiative is crucial to keep our community thriving. Thank you again, Mayor Gillingham, and the Winnipeg Police Service, Minister Wiebe, for your commitment to our community. Joe Cornelson.
Hi there, I'm Joe Cornelson from the West End Biz. I'll be speaking very briefly. The West End Biz is very pleased to see the extension of the Retail Safety Initiative in the West End. Communities are built on community connection, so it is great to see police officers doing that relationship building in our zone. I have, like all the other speakers here, heard from our members that they are absolutely pleased to see police coming into their businesses, interacting with them. They feel that it is making them safer, it is making their staff safer, and it is making their patrons safer. Many West End Biz members want to see retail theft and safety addressed, and this announcement makes them feel like they are being heard. So I want to thank the provincial government, Minister Wiebe, the MLAs and ministers that represent the West End with respect to this investment in the community. I also want to thank the Winnipeg Police Service and service members for their hard work in our neighborhood. And I also want to thank the City of Winnipeg and Mayor Gillingham and our councillor for being involved in this as well. So thank you very much.